This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
This is The Real Podcast with Amy Sheridan and Jason Klaus on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Oh my God. Welcome to The Real Podcast here on the PFC Entertainment Network. And if you could see what went on during the signature and the rating and all that stuff, you would probably think we have lost our goddamn minds. We probably have in some regards, but be that as it may. It's been a minute, but we're back on the air. She is Amy Sheridan. I am Jason Klaus, and it's good to see you. How are you?
It's good. Like my like I'm crying now. Like my gut hurts from laughing so hard. I really, man, I wish they could see that. That shit was so funny.
Yeah. If I didn't do what I do in post, they would be able to have seen the little side views of us. But because of the way I format this now, it will actually put the main part of the screen as the whole screen and knocks us out until we come back in to actually record.
Right.
But yeah, we are ridiculous. I don't know if it's because of the nice weather that we've been having here this week, or spring is in the air, or we just missed doing this particular show. Probably a combination of all of it, a little bit of all of it, a potpourri, if you will.
Right.
But it is great to sit down with you here today. And episode 77, we are slowly but surely making our way to triple digits on this particular program. Isn't that something?
It is. Like, I didn't realize we were that close. I mean, truth be told, because my show airs every other week.
Right.
So that's like another 26 weeks. You said 77, not 74. So 23 weeks. I can't do math right now, but I 23.
Mm-hmm.
So if you times that by 2, it's actually almost in like another year. So I got a little bit to plan for my 100th episode.
Plenty of time, as they say. Yeah.
Plenty of time. But when you're looking at the numbers, yeah, it's like, oh my God, it's coming so close. And really, it's like fucking 9 months from now.
Listen, also, I would just like to make mention that I scored something of a moral victory in terms of what goes on behind the scenes here at the PFC network.
Okay.
If anybody who has tuned in to the Sports Reel podcast, which you hear on Wednesdays, we got into
Said if you don't, you're dumb.
For real. Like, what else are you doing on your Wednesdays? It makes me
You got a stupid face, too.
You got a stupid face and a shit attitude, and we don't have time for it. We were running into issues when I was using my new equipment here with a really weird echo. And if you had listened to previous episodes of Tim's show and of the flagship show, like that, there was a real serious echo thing happening. And then last week, when we were getting ready to do the show, and I still had used my original setup, the one that I've had since day one, and it kicked back another type of echo towards Tim. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I went deep into my settings, and there was one button at the very bottom of the screen that you had to scroll a few times to get to, and noise or echo cancellation. I'm like,
Oh, it wasn't like a big red button that says "Don't push this button," and you pushed it.
no, it wasn't anything like that. So I went ahead and I hit that button, and then we did a couple of tests. I'm like, Tim, do you hear anything? He fucks with me, number one. Like, he'll come on the air and he'll do this shit. And I start panicking, like, because of all the issues that I have had. I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean you can't hear me? No, I'm just fucking with you. I'm like, so this is what we're going to do right out of the gate. This is the tone that we're setting.
Dude, if I had a fucking nickel for every time he did some shit like that to me, like, I would be able to afford probably a very expensive purse.
So today, in preparation for this, I got my new setup hooked up, went down, scrolled, hit that button, and now Amy doesn't hear the echo, and I get to use my good equipment, because I gotta tell you, I'm not a fan of my voice, but it's tolerable with this shit here.
Does it reset every time like you open it, or is it? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God. So it's like, okay, now we got to get you a sticky note to put on the top of your computer, like push the button.
No need. It's permanently burned in here now. That's just part of my setup when I come in and set everything up before I send you the link or whoever's coming on the show. So yeah, we went ahead and fixed that problem. So from my perspective, I'm going to sound awesome from here on out. And I am stoked. It's the little things in life, Amy.
I guess so. Like, I'm wondering why that never happened with, like, my show. Like, trust me, I heard that the echo heard around the world on Tim's show. You know, like, we all heard it. He fixated on it, and then he sat there and like replayed it. And he's like, I just don't get it. Like, why is it echoing? And it's like, it doesn't matter how many times you fucking play the goddamn thing. Like, you're still gonna echo.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's in the recording, Tim. Like, you're not gonna fix it from the outside.
Look, I can understand that, because I went to Spotify, I went to iTunes, I went to iHeartRadio, and I went to Apple Music, and all of them. Because that's where all of our shows are, and YouTube. Yeah. And that's where all of our shows are available on. And yep, every single one of them. So it was something within Riverside. Like, I narrowed that down. I guess I couldn't figure it out until I'm like, because I upgraded my system here with Riverside. I upgraded my subscription. And that's why you get to see the different backgrounds now. And then, we're going to start being able to take live calls, and especially for Tim's show, which is going to be very cool. Yeah. And I'm like, so what's at the bottom of this screen? And then echo cancellation. I'm like, you sons of bitches. Why wouldn't you make that a more prominent and maybe put it towards the top of your settings page? That's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of pretty important. A button like that.
I don't ask for a lot. Just don't make me look stupid, Like, if I do it to myself, I do it to myself. And it is what it is.
I mean, it's probably below the adjust the brightness button.
Yes, Amy, I'm telling you, it was at the very bottom. And I mean, there was a fucking screen and a half worth of other, and I mean, the tiniest of fonts, if I can tell. It's like, the fuck does that say?
It's almost like Willie and like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they're trying to read the contract, and there's like a magnifier and a magnifier and a magnifier just to see like the little print.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Echo a cancellation. So now that I know that's a thing, and it does register with this new equipment, I am so happy about that. So I just wanted to make mention of that moral victory here this week. So
For sure. I know. As soon as you, like, at first I couldn't hear you when you got on.
no, that's because I had it muted.
Okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, all of a sudden it was like blaring, and you're like, can you hear me? And it's like, yeah, it's so great and powerful Oz. I can hear you. You know? You're also wearing emerald green, so.
Well, full disclosure, this is phase 2 of my day. As I told you off air, I went down to Lake Orion earlier this afternoon, had lunch, came back here to Lapeer. We're doing this, and as soon as I get off here, I got to collect my papers and my format and head back down to Lake Orion because we got a Fatal 4-Way on ONTV tonight. Now, by the time you hear this, it will have been last night. So yeah, this is phase 2 of my day. And I wanted to, when I go on TV, like I want to present myself, and I don't want people to tune in that are just normal wrestling fans, because I want that immediately judge the show based on what the hosts look like, and not even give us a chance to put our wealth of knowledge and fandom on display. You feel me? So while I'm not going to wear a suit and tie every single week, I am going to put some thought into how I look. And this is, it's Michigan State, but we're in the Big Ten basketball tournament. Don't be like that. Don't be like. We're talking about the Big Ten champions right now. Okay, show some respect.
Blue Maze. Go blue.
Look, nobody's perfect. Okay, I still like you. Don't get me wrong. But I was incorporating the Michigan State. They're in the Big Ten tournament right now.
Right.
March Madness is around the corner, and St. Patrick's Day is just a couple days away. So I wanted to incorporate all that into one neat little package. So this is what it is.
Well, I think it's important, especially, on TV, to, dress your best. And, as I always say, if you want people to take you seriously, you need to look the part. So, and I will say that when I do watch it, Q has some badass suits and shit that he wears. Like, he's got style, like just a style that is like all his own. It's amazing. I love it.
And he takes it so seriously, not in a bad way, but like he really has a lot of respect for the opportunity.
Right.
And, even before there was Fatal 4-Way and we just did the Klaus and Q show, that was a whole different animal. That was more of a motivational show. We didn't talk a whole lot about wrestling until later on in the series, which ultimately led to Fatal 4-Way. But, he's always been very conscious about how he is presenting himself on a public forum. And I have always appreciated that. Brian, the same thing. He comes in wearing his blazers, and he may have a T-shirt underneath, but like he puts it all together in a very respectable package.
Not everyone has to wear a 3-piece suit.
No.
Something.
One shot to make a first impression.
Right. Right. For any new users tuning in, I can never seem to catch Fatal 4-Way when it's live. Like, I always somehow miss it, like every damn time. And I know what it is. It's because Fridays are usually mine and Tim and Chase's like family dinner night. Mm-hmm. So usually when Tim gets home at like 6, we just pack up and we go to dinner. Sometimes we'll make it on a Saturday, but the majority of the time it's like always on Friday. And so, yeah, usually we're out to dinner, and then by the time we get back, I'll scroll Facebook because usually we don't do phones while we're at dinner.
I love that so much.
Yeah. And except for this one night, you should ask Tim about. I'm pretty sure I gave him the silent treatment for a while because he was just like on his phone, but someone was texting him, and I can't remember what it was for, and I want to say it had something to do with like his show. He was getting, I don't know, stats or something. But in any case, he was on his damn phone. And I'm just like, are you fucking for real right now? And he's like, last one, I promise. And he's, and I'm just like, oh my God, put it down. Like we were at the Lake Inn. I was mad. I was so mad.
Was it me?
I don't think so.
There was one night I was texting it because it's something, I think it was for the lightning rounds thing. When that started to take shape, I was texting him to see if he was okay with this before I said, yes, this is what, we'll do it. And he alluded that he was in the middle of, I don't know if it was family dinner or what it was, but I'm like, oh shit. Like as soon as he said that, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Get a hold of me later. I'll put this shit on pause. Like, cause I'm very big about that. If you're out to dinner with your family or it's a date night type of thing, put the fucking phone down. I mean, what are we doing? You're spending all that time with come on, focus on the person that you're sitting across from or next to, which leads me to this, because I want your opinion on this. Okay. Have you and Tim ever been same-siders?
No.
No?
I am not a same-side person. I don't know, like, first of all, we have Chase, okay? And so then it would just be like me and Tim, like, staring at Chase. Okay. And even like, you know what I mean? And that just kind of seems a little hostile. And Chase likes to sit next to Tim, like, everybody. And I don't know how they always get like the best side, like the side that like the good part of the game is on, or you know what I mean? Something's interesting, and I'm just usually staring at a fucking wall. Like I don't get how they do it, but somehow they do. But Chase likes to sit next to Tim, and I like to sit across from Tim because I like to look at who I'm conversing with. Yeah, I would hate to be like, oh, hey, how was your day? And him be like, oh, it was fine. And then we're just sitting there staring at nothing. That would just, no. Yeah, I'm not a same-sider. Are you? I think you are. You are, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Yeah, and
with another couple, I'm a same-sider, but
well, for sure, yeah. But no, when we go out to dinner, and it's just the two of us. I know it happened one night. We went to one place and we started out across from one another, and then I wound up moving over because she wanted to show me something. So we were just kind of sitting there, we're talking, and next thing you know, we ordered, and without even thinking about it, then they brought the food out, and like I looked over at her, and I'm like, "Do you want me to move back across?" She goes, "Do you want to?" I'm like, "I'm kind of comfy," and she's like, "I really like you sitting next to me," so we've been doing that ever since.
Okay.
But I notice from time to time there are people that will like look at us weird, like why are they sitting on this? Oh, they're same-siders. And I've never been. Never. Yeah. But there's just, as long as I'm on the outside, because I'm left-handed,
yeah,
or, I'm not in a position where I can bump elbows, she always has to sit on my right side. As long as that is a thing, we're kind of cool with it, and I get what you're saying, but there is that closeness where we can just kind of lean into one another, and I can still turn my head this way pretty well. The other way, not so much anymore, but this way I can. And I don't know. It's just.
I think you see like a lot of older people do that as well. Like older couples are usually I'll
Are you taking a shot at me?
No.
I just totally.
No, I'm saying like I think that used to be like a big thing like back in the day because you see like a lot of older couples still doing the same side. So it's not like weird to me. Like if I seen people sitting on the same side, I wouldn't think any differently of them. But usually when I do see it, it's usually an older couple, and I think that used to be a thing back in the day, like when you're sharing a milkshake, kind of a deal. Like back in the 50s, or whatever. I think my dad and my stepmom do same sides too. I know my grandparents did.
Mhm.
Like they were always, but my grandma, to the day she died, still wore stockings and dresses, like, and like the flowy dresses, with the short sleeve and shit. Like she
Mhm.
still had all of those. She wore these long necklaces that complemented each dress. That woman like never owned a pair of pants in her life. She was very old school. I don't even think she had a driver's license. I don't think she ever drove anywhere. Like they were that old school. But I loved it. I thought it was like one of the best things about them, like they were just so cool like that. Like that's how I imagine growing old with Tim. I think one day we'll switch to same siders.
Mhm.
You know, I just don't think it's now because my neck sucks. Tim's neck and Chase always wants to sit next to Tim.
Right.
So, and I like facing people when I'm having a conversation. But I think, when my voice gets meeker and I'm just like, hey, look at those fuckers over there.
That's part of what we do. Be like,
Yeah.
look at these people. What do you
Oh
think
my
your
God.
story is? And then we'll come up with a scenario,
Right.
just based on. I know that sounds shitty, but it's amusing.
No. It's people watching. Tim and
Yeah.
I do we people watch all the time. And he's fucking hilarious. He's fun while people watching. Like we'll just sit in the garage with like a drink. There's like a picture of us sitting in the garage drinking our drinks, just watching. Just watching. Like who's walking down our neighborhood with what dog and if they're gonna let them shit on our lawn, and like we're watching and we're sitting there talking about them the entire time. And we're like listening to our neighbors' conversation. We're listening to the across neighbors' conversation. We're making fun of their kid. Like remember when he was so damn dumb he fucking ran his little scooter into their house? In their house. Like he was we just watched him like crash. He had this it was a two-wheeler. It was like one of those little motorcycle bikes, but it was like a 50cc, just a little guy, and he was just a little guy. It was like maybe a year or two after we moved in this house. We're just watching him, and he's riding his little fucking motorcycle thing like in their lawn and in their driveway, and we're like, he's gonna crash. And this kid's got some shit wrong with him. But sure as shit, he fucking rode right into their house and just smack. And then you see the fucking kid fall. And I couldn't help but laugh so hard. And Tim was like, yeah, I remember that. It's like, that's so funny. And nothing happened, he was fine.
Right.
But it was fucking hilarious. I mean, I love people watching. We did that on the beach too last time we were in Florida. We just sat there and watched all these fucking people, made fun of other people. I love it. It's
I
great.
understand you got another trip on that's coming up here pretty quick.
Oh, did he tell you about that?
Well, he just said we were talking about Mike going to Vegas at the end of April.
Yes.
And
I have some questions, sir.
Oh, we're
Question.
doing this right now? Fucking let's have it. What's your question?
So you're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we're going to WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know. I
Mhm.
know. With your little fucking post on Facebook, I told him about it. I was like, did you see? Someone said, oh, God, I can't even remember what the post said, but it was like something so elusive. Like, you didn't say, hey, I got tickets to WrestleMania. You said something else. And it was like,
Yes.
are you alluding to the fact that you have WrestleMania tickets? Like, when did that fucking happen? When did that transpire? And if you would have fucking said something, I bet you someone would have went to.
What I had posted was, guess who just stamped their ticket to WrestleMania?
That's what it
Spoiler, it's not John Cena.
Yeah, but you didn't say, spoiler, it's me.
What,
You
what,
know, no.
you know how I am about shit like that. It just, to garner some conversation.
Well, it did garner conversation because Tim got home and I was like, guess who I think got tickets? Because I didn't know if you did. Like, for sure, it could have been fucking your kid. I don't know, like.
No, we
I seen that. That's so cool. And I was just like, what the fuck?
it was her idea, if I can be honest with you. She's like, what?
You should
Why
share her fucking ideas.
I'm like, why don't we go to WrestleMania? I said, because it's in Vegas. She goes, and? I'm like, well, it's 2 nights.
Vegas is cheap to go.
And she's like, and? So let's go do it. And she's not a wrestling fan,
right.
by and large, And I was like, all right. And this was months ago. Well, then profit sharing came, and once I had an idea that I was going to take part of that for this, because this is something I've always wanted to do. And I waited stupidly until after Elimination Chamber, but I had to, because I had to wait for profit sharing to come in. We got it on the 28th. Elimination Chamber was March 1st. Okay. So it was like, back-to-back days. I shit you not, because I had been monitoring the ticket prices for Mania for the 2-day pass. And the day after Cena had turned heel and won the Elimination Chamber, set the whole thing up with Cody Rhodes, the ticket prices for Mania went up to the point to where I was like, we can't do both nights. There's no way. Because they're charging Super Bowl prices at this point. So what we did is, and I know without a shadow of a doubt, Cody and Cena are going to close out Sunday night 2. So I focused on that night because I want to be in there for that, And we found affordable tickets. And so we're going to get out to Vegas that Friday, spend the evening just kind of exploring. Saturday, we're going to go to that convention center thing that they've got going on, set up with their big superstore and meet and greets and all this shit. And then we're going to go to one of the places that's airing night 1. We're going to go watch it there, go back to the hotel, and then go to the stadium on Sunday and be in there for the actual show on Sunday. So that's our plan now.
Sure, that's a really good plan. I'm like, there is a million things to do in fucking Vegas.
Yeah.
Pick your one night that you just don't want to miss.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hate that they do it like a million nights now. Like, I think that's, I understand why they do it.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah, like, you fucking assholes. Like, of all the ways to make a damn buck. Like,
if COVID hadn't happened, I don't think we would have seen 2-night pay-per-views like this. Because now SummerSlam is doing it too this year.
Right.
And I again, like you, I see why. I get it. But from a fan perspective, it really does take, it dilutes it. But this year in particular, like, this is the first time in a long time that this has really felt like WrestleMania, from a storyline perspective. And I'm really excited about it. But I'm with you. I wish it would go back to one night. And it had so much more pomp and circumstance around it,
Yeah.
because they don't split the Super Bowl up. One half, we're going to get the first half on Saturday and then the second half on Sunday. Like, we don't do this, That's like shit, man.
That's so funny.
It is what it is. So yeah, we're going to Vegas. But then he had said, yeah, we're going to, I believe it's Florida.
Yeah, we're going to fucking Florida. In which I threw up Vegas because, like, we've been there and it's fucking amazing. Like, there is shit to do everywhere. Even just taking one day to just walk the strip, it's like there is everything there. Like, there's no way that you can do everything all at once. Like, you're not going to be bored while you're there. But by the time you had even made that announcement, like, we had already picked Florida.
All right.
And then it was just kind of like,
yeah.
yeah. Isn't that like Tim's new button or something that he has?
Yeah. He fucking busted me good on that too, because he picked the perfect time to say it or to utilize. I think we were mentioning the Carolina Panthers or something. Yeah. He broke that out. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I see that. That was funny.
You've been on one here today, pal.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, he's so funny.
He is funny, yeah.
So yeah, we picked Florida, and we decided to do something like go somewhere we haven't been. Like, usually we'll go to Daytona Beach. Of course, there's always, what's that other part of the Gulf? I can't fucking remember what it is. Someone said something about going to Clearwater, and I'm just like, okay, what the fuck is Clearwater? So, like, I was looking up things for that. That is expensive as shit.
Yes, it is.
That is so expensive. And it's like, okay, there must be a whole nother beach somewhere, and there was. And it has its own little... Fort Myers was the other one I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Fort Myers, and, that was nice, too, and that's on the Gulf side. And then he's like, well, let's pick somewhere we haven't been. And I'm like, okay, because Daytona... I would have probably picked Daytona again just because, there's a whole bunch of hotels, there's food all right there, but not anymore since that hurricane hit. Like, our actual hotel that we stayed in last time doesn't even exist anymore.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because every hotel is like, it's right there on the edge,
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at the airports and looking at flights, and Allegiant, which is a pretty mild cost, like, you get zero extras. But it's a direct flight, and they go to, like, every fucking airport in Florida. So I was, like, looking at some of the airports, and even some of the other places that we wanted to go, like, the airport was still, like, an hour away, or whatever. And then I looked at this one place, it was called Fort Walton, and they had an airport in Destin/Fort Walton. It's 13 minutes away from the actual hotel or resort, whatever, that I picked. And it's like, so you know where the bottom is, and you know where, like, the top of Florida. It's, like, right in the fucking crevice of, like, up top. And I've never been there.
Mm-hmm.
Tim's never been there. And it's probably maybe about 45 minutes to an hour away from Clearwater, but it's like half the fucking cost. Half the cost. And you still get beach and beachy drinks, and there's still a pool hotel because I won't swim in water that have fish. And so I love Florida. Loved going there last time. And, like, we literally, when we got hot, like, we ran out to the ocean, and then we, like, hurried up and ran back in. But, like, I don't do fish at all. Like, no fish. I am deathly scared of fish. I have no idea why. And I go kayaking. But if I see a fish, like there was one time I went kayaking. We went to Nuevo Beach, and we did go tubing down the Muskegon River. I didn't see any fish, so there wasn't any problem. I just didn't spend any time like in the water. And we were kayaking, and there was a fish, and I fucking flipped myself over because I was so terrified. And then I like hurried up, swam to the shore, and like I fucking gashed my foot, and it like got infected and shit. It was so bad. It was so bad. So yeah, like I'm deathly scared of fish.
What kind of fish are we talking about here?
Just
Like
fish.
any fish?
Any fish.
Bass? Like we're talking about this kind of fish.
I don't
Perch?
even know what a bass looks like. It's just a fish.
Okay.
Fish. Anything that swims. Seriously. And Tim can attest to it. He was laughing his ass off when I put my fucking kayak. I did not care. Like, I don't. I think it stems from my dad. I think my dad put this on me. Because ever since he said that he went swimming in this pond when he was a kid and a piranha came up and bit his nipple. Yeah.
Shit.
And dumbass me didn't know that piranhas don't exist in this pond that he's swimming. I've been terrified of fish ever since. Like I don't swim in lakes. I do not like. It's got to be a pool, and our hotel has a pool. Like I'll hurry up and go, but Tim, goddamn him, also showed me this fucking YouTube video of some dude dropping a GoPro on the pier that's next to our hotel, and there's fucking sharks. Sharks in this motherfucker. Sharks. And a shit ton of fish. He like drops it right in the pier, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at all these fucking sharks and fish, and he's like, isn't that funny? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I think that I am rethinking our destination. I think that I would be more comfortable in Nevada, where there is no ocean and no fish.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm also obsessed with shark movies. Like, I love shark movies.
See, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jaws?
Fuck yeah. And the Meg, oh my God, love it. And the Meg 2. I'm a big person at Shark Week. Love Shark Week. I love sharks. Like, love them. Love penguin. Penguin's my favorite animal. As a matter of fact, he did find this one zoo thing that's there, and they have like this like thing where you can like feed penguins. So we might do that. I'm so excited if I get to feed a penguin. But he was like, we should go scuba diving. And I was just like, again, you must be high because you're not going to get me into the waters with my face with fish right there. Like, you can fucking know. I'll sit on the beach with a drink, dry, with no fish.
What if they put you in a cage in a shark? No,
It's not sharks. It's fish.
just okay.
Fish
So
and those little guys can swim in those bars. That means fish would touch me and probably bite my fucking toes off or something. Something's
you're
going
wearing
to happen. What?
not if you're wearing flippers.
Well, it's gonna bite my skin or like my fingers off or bite my nose off or something.
You're
It will
covered.
attach itself. My dad said,
Do you eat seafood?
yeah, love seafood.
I'm gonna get you, motherfucker, one fish at a time.
It's kind of like frogs. I'm definitely scared of frogs. frogs too. Like, I don't, oh my God, I about shit myself when Matt and his buddies, I mean, this was probably about, I don't know, 7 to 10 years ago. I walked in my back thing. Like, when I mow my lawn, I'm looking for those fuckers and I'm running them over. Like, I don't give two shits. Like, you better hop. Like, your fucking life depends on it because I'm coming.
Because it does.
That's right. Like, I'll kill those. Like, so gross. But Matt and his friends thought it was super fucking funny to call me out to the backyard and then throw a fucking frog at me.
Oh my God.
Like, knowing how I feel about those fucking things. Like, if there's one on our, like, because we have these weird fucking frogs that will, like, attach themselves to, like, our windows.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they'll be, like, on the window, like... And, yeah, so they attach themselves to the window.
Oh my God.
And I will freak the fuck out. Like, I can't handle it. Tim's got to, like, either go out there and fucking remove it, or we have to shut the fucking curtains so that I'm not staring at this fucking thing before it, like, somehow jackhammers its way into the window and, like, kills us all.
What a great idea for a movie. I'm going to go ahead and write that down. You
think I'm joking?
No, I don't.
I'm
I'm sorry that I'm laughing, but you can't give me your visuals in correspondence with what you're saying and not expect me to have some sort of reaction to it. If you're not watching this on Spotify or YouTube, you're fucking missing out because that was fucking awesome. I had no idea you had such a disdain for the aquatic creatures. Yeah. Fish, frogs, this type of gimmick. What are you on snakes?
Oh, snakes are fine.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well,
your shit's wired backwards.
My Uncle Sean used to breed snakes. So, like, and we lived, because he's like the younger sibling. We used to live at my grandma's house, and my Uncle Sean used to keep all of his snakes downstairs, so, like, he would let us hold them and stuff at a very young age for, like almost my whole existence. So, like, I'm okay with snakes. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had a bad experience with snakes. Like, we grew up with them in the house, like, multiple breeds. So, no, those don't bother me at all. Like, I don't like bugs, you know, but spiders, it's like, meh. Like, I don't really like, I will try to make Tim kill the spiders, and then he fucks up drastically, and then I end up getting so mad that, like, I bypass the fear of them and just go kill them myself because my husband can't. I love you, Tim.
He can't.
So, like, you know, instead of using common sense and, like, getting the fly swatter to kill a fucking bug or something, and, like, he'll know, like, I'll see them, and they'll be, like, on the ceiling or something. Like, I will see it, and I will be like, there's a fucking bug, or there's a spider, or something. And I'll be like, you need to fucking kill it. And he will get, like, the weirdest shaped object, instead of, like, the fly swatter. Just to, you know, wow. No. He gets the weirdest shaped fucking object. Or, I don't even know what is, like, going through his brain. And I keep telling him, like, just use the fucking fly swatter. Or get, like, your shoe. And he will either completely miss the bug, or he will have hit it, but not in a way that's going to kill it. It just falls down, and then we can't find it, and then I'm fucking like, God damn it. Then I'm thinking about the fucking critter the whole time. Thinking, where is it? Is it going to crawl in my while I'm fucking sleeping? You know, like, these are the things that I think about, and he's just like, ugh. You know, like, let me get a fork. I mean, he's never gotten an actual fork, but he's gotten some pretty weird fucking objects, you know, and it's kind of like, are you fucking serious right now? Like, use the fly swatcher.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's.
But the fish, the fish and the amphibian
Mhm.
friend, like, that's a fucking hard no. That is, I don't know why. I don't know where my fear of frogs came from. Maybe it's because they hop. I'm not like too keen on grasshoppers either.
You've mentioned that before, yeah.
Yeah, like, and I think it's just because they're so, like, you never know when they're gonna jump. You know what I mean? So it, like, maybe that is like what freaks me out about them. Well, and frogs are like slimy and gross. Like, it's so bad. It's so
What about
bad.
rabbits?
I just don't like rabbits. I think they're filthy. I don't think they're gross. I'm not scared of them. I just think that they're like filthy little things that carry diseases.
Okay.
And I know birds carry diseases too, but like, I dig birds. Like, birds are not like, you know, fucking rabbits. Just nasty, nasty little creatures.
This has been most educational. I
Yeah.
don't mind telling you.
Give me a fat little squirrel any day. I'll take him.
A squirrel.
Chickmunk. Yeah, one of those little cute things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They make great soup.
Yeah, I don't.
No, not so much.
That was like a thing before I started dating Tim. I was like, you know, you always have your little, you got to add, you know, are you a dog or a cat person? And before, like, I hated fucking cats. Like, I couldn't stand cats just because you know, it was like, well, what's the fucking point? They're all assholes. They're not. And my view has totally changed. But I used to be just a dog person. And Tim was like, oh, I'm a dog person. I'm like, okay, Michigan or Michigan State. And he's like, Michigan. And I was like, okay. And then it's like Ford or Chevy. And he's like, Chevy. And I'm like, okay. And then, yeah, then you get to other questions. And it's just not, yeah, it's not. I was like, you go hunting? And he's just like, yup. And I'm just like, I don't. He's like, are you a gun person? And I was like, nope. And he's like, okay. Like, I am. And I hunt. And I'm like, have you ever eaten squirrel? And it was legit. It was a question. It was, this is absolutely true. And he had said that he had. And I said, well, you know, I hope that you'll give it up, because if you are with me, you will never eat another squirrel. And he's like, I mean, I guess I can deal with that. Yeah. He agreed, kind of. And he hasn't. He hasn't. But it was a legit one of those, have you ever ate a fucking squirrel? You know, like, these are things, you know, that I think about. They're very important things. And I understand, you know, he grew up with what he grew up with, and they were just like, oh yeah, squirrel, you know, rabbit, whatever. And I'm just like, you can eat a fucking rabbit. Like, I won't eat a rabbit. And, like, I can't kill anything either. I can eat it. I can prepare it. I just can't kill it.
Right.
And I don't know why, because I seem like a pretty violent person sometimes. But I just can't. I just can't. Yeah. So, but he can. And then he hangs it in my garage too, like right next to my car, which is so unbecoming.
Oh my goodness.
Compromises, Jason. Relationships are full of compromises.
For sure. And it's, you know, you got to have the yin to the yang. You got to, you know, you got to have your similarities, but it's okay to embrace the differences and you offset one another. One picks up where the other one can't or won't or what have you, and vice versa. As long as it's a vice versa thing, as long as it's a 50-50 thing, absolutely. But when it starts becoming more of a one-sided gimmick, a lot of taking, more, not so much giving on the other hand, it's going to start to become a problem. But what a phenomenal story that was. So thank you for sharing that. That was fun. Spawned a couple more T-shirts, especially it's timely with the new summer lineup that's going to be coming out here shortly.
I'm going to be like, you don't eat squirrels, do ya?
This is a no fish zone.
FTF. Fuck those fish.
Fuck them fish. Got it. Yep. That's fun. What else? Anything else that's come across your radar that you want to share with the masses?
I mean, I don't really think so. They already know about my secret vacation. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just joking. It wasn't a secret.
I was going to say. We talked about it. I feel like it was mentioned on the air on the other show, but if
it
I
probably was. And usually, we don't like telling people when we're going on vacation.
Yeah. Because
we don't want people knowing that the house is empty. But we have a house sitter for our dogs because I don't like putting them in a kennel.
Sure.
For our dogs and cats this time. So I'm just kind of like, whatever, because we know someone will be here. So no big deal.
All right. Well, I don't feel like such an asshole, and
no, I was just giving you shit for no reason at all, just because I could.
And we don't want our fans, our listeners, to feel like assholes and miss out on the spring lineup. So for a limited time left, you can head on over to pfcspring.printify.me. You like that transition?
I do.
That's where you'll find all the baseball jerseys and new hats and other spring-inspired apparel and accessories for you or your home. And don't fret. I know I had gotten some questions about this after last week's What the 80s show. I'm not taking down all the spring stuff and it'll never be seen again. I'm actually moving it over to the main store, which is pfcstore.printify.me. And the spring space will be transitioned over to the summer lineup, the summer merchandise line. So even though, I know the way I initially said that, you only have a few days left to get your jerseys and stuff. Now they'll be available over on the main store. So I wanted to make mention of that. So
good deal.
All right. I don't have anything else, I don't believe. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do this. And I know once this pops up on YouTube and the RSS feed, there's going to be some happy fans that are like, where's the show? Well, here it is. So.
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks since we did the last one, so.
I know, but listen, when you record audio gold, it starts to become an addiction for people. They got to have it, Amy. They got to have it.
I hope so. Oh, my God, I'll share an update. So, somebody listened to the last show, heard me mention their name, and instantly called me to explain. I loved it. So, yeah, I know some people are listening.
Mm-hmm. Make no mistake about it. The numbers tell me that, there is a consistent group of people that tune into this show with each and every episode. So, and fear not, in 2 weeks, you'll get another brand new episode. So you have that to look forward to. So, all right, dearie, we'll go ahead and put a bow on this week's episode. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in, and for all the latest news and information on this show, you can find us over on Facebook. Just look for the Real Podcast Facebook page, and of course, pfcnetwork.net, the official website. of the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network. For Amy Sheridan, I'm Jason Klaus. Go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time, right here on the Real Podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network.